to make cornbread, and we did that. That was exciting to watch that mill grind that corn to make corn.
She bought these overalls for just what they cost Mr. Purvis, and then I think she gave him a couple of dollars extra.
I remember my mother talking about that, that he didn't expect to be paid for it, but they didn't feel like that was right, so they always paid for it as they went along. Mama would, count her money and make sure she paid what they were, charging for it. I guess I was probably too young to really know all the business details, but I do know I remember her saying that that the store was in, I believe, Jesus Christ's name, that it was not in anybody's name, and that's what it was.
Well, I think it was my father-in-law, I think it was Jim Haney, told me that that Mr. Purvis, A.D. Purvis, was down in this field plowing one day, and an angel appeared to him and directed him to go to Waller and open up a business, put his goods on the shelf at cost, and people that were needing, this was during the Depression, people that were needed could buy it at cost, and if they could afford to give him a tip, well, he could live on the tip.
Miss Purvis, a lot of time when my mother would come up here and she would buy so many yards of fabric, then she said, Galilee, I'm gonna give you this. So she would measure off and give it to her.
My dad always says they were very, very honest people.
From my childhood up until now, that the kindness that she showed to us, I extend it to others.
Well, our character is made up of the many strands of things that put our lives together, and that is one of the strands, that there's an inherent goodness in people, that when given the opportunity to do right, most people will do that. For instance, the price. If it's marked that it costs them 3 cents a pound to buy the peas and you're willing to give them a nickel a pound, that's an inherent goodness that people have. And so even in my judicial duties, I believe that most people really do have a good streak in them. There's inherent evil that I see. Make no mistake, there are people that come into my court, and when you look at them, there is no redeeming features in their eyes. But most of them have just gone astray. They've been misguided, and they have an inherent goodness. And I think I do take that from God's Mercy Store, because that was just a good place with a good reputation that people it came to and were treated well, but they also were able to treat the Purvis family well in return.
It was a wonderful place, really.
Every time we would leave that store, Mr. Purvis usually fill up a little brown bag of candy and he'd give it to us, but he said, you have to share it. Always, you have to share it.
They demonstrated through their actions, I think, the love of Christ. And I just, their heart was always in the right place. They were very trusting folks, and I understand that they did pretty well, even operating, with people giving them what they wanted to above cost. And so I just, it probably wouldn't work very well nowadays, but it did in that time, and they just showed a lot of love for mankind.
Through the years, as I have grown, I have found myself inside that store many times. And believe me, once inside that store, you will surely find everything you need to help you make it through this life. You will find patience and love. They are on the same aisle. If you walk a little further down, you will find understanding, and that you need everywhere you go. I then found wisdom and faith, and the Holy Ghost was all over that place. As I walked down the aisles, I found strength and courage, strength that helped me be strong, courage to run the race. I then found salvation, prayer, and there was peace, joy, song, and praises, while there were even a host of angels standing everywhere. And need I forget, I even found God's mercy for my soul, and along with mercy came grace.
There's a place you can go, God's mercy store. Everyone is invited, your appetite restored. There are drinks and there is bread where a family can be fed. No one will grow hungry anymore. The door is open, just come on in. All you have to do is step up, come inside. Do not turn away, for in here you have the chance to drink from the fountain of life. Once you are inside and shop God's mercy store, you will find a bargain you've never known before. The price will be fair so that all may share. Whatever the amount you give is worth the price. The door is open, just come on in. All you have to do is step up, come inside. Do not turn away, for in here you have the chance to drink from the fountain of life. Jesus paid the price to take away your sin. What will you give up to follow him? The door is open, just come on in. All you have to do is step up, come inside. Do not turn away, for in here you have the chance to drink from the fountain of life. Do not turn away, for in here you have the chance to drink from the fountain of life.